Are you an elementary school teacher or a homeschool mom that is burned out of coming up with elementary lesson plans for your students? I'm quite sure that no one except teachers has any idea of how difficult and sometimes stressful it is to come up with great elementary lesson plans for each subject and each day you plan to teach. I recently retired from teaching after having a fourth grade classroom for nearly 35 years. I loved teaching more than anything else, but planning elementary lesson plans nearly did me in a few times. At several times throughout my teaching career I would come home and complain to my husband that I wanted to be done. The job was too hard, the pay was too small, I was underappreciated, and I had to spend hours each week making elementary lessons plans that half of the time I didn't even follow. 5 years before retirement, another teacher gave me some of the best and most relieving advice of my teaching career. I'll admit that I was a little upset that I hadn't heard this news 30 years before, but I was grateful nonetheless to get all the help I could. This teacher suggested that I start looking for other ways and sources of getting great elementary lesson plans for my classroom. At first I laughed at her and responded with a simple, "Yeah, right." I had myself convinced that I was the only reliable source of elementary lesson plans and that my classroom would fall apart if I didn't have the perfect plans going into each morning. I was wrong. My teacher friend suggested that I utilize resources that other teachers have made in my own classroom. She suggested that I look for elementary lesson plans at bookstores, teaching stores, and even on the internet. I began to look around for other sources of elementary lesson plans during the summer between 2 school years. I was skeptical about finding something that worked, yet I found the idea intriguing enough to be worth my trying. What I discovered as I really began looking for elementary lesson plans was unbelievable. There really is a wealth of information and resource available for teachers in the area of elementary lesson plans. I had no idea how much work had been written and published in this area. I stumbled upon a treasure house of solid information that changed everything about the last 5 years of my career. So teachers, regardless of how long you've been in the classroom, start looking now for great alternatives for elementary lesson plans. You'll be glad you did. What is a good lesson plan? Even the best teachers often struggle with writing a high-quality lesson plan that will allow them to teach to the best of their ability. Plans that are not well organized or clear in their direction can be hard to follow, and the educational experience of the students suffers as a result. Many teachers are required to write their plans in advance, and this can be good and bad. Teachers often rush through the process to get the plans into their supervisor, but then they suffer later on when they attempt to teach from the plan. There are many different tools to help teachers prepare their lesson plan, including planning books, templates, and forms. How well any of these plans will work for you is based on how dedicated you are to using the format provided. Writing lessons requires organization, and even if you use these tools and you are not organized, you may find that they do not help all that much. At the end of the day, if you are a teacher that has to write your own lessons, you might find that you are tired, exhausted, and just frustrated by the process. Many teachers benefit from some of the programs that are on the market today that actually provide ready-made lessons. This can be very helpful for teachers that just need a break or need something to guide them through the lesson plan writing process. Some of these aren't all that great, but there are a few products that are of superior quality. Programs that are written for teachers by teachers, so you know that all of the information is valid and something you can work with for your students, is the best choice. You do not want to simply work with something that is written by someone who does not know much on the subject. Another great aspect to utilizing a lesson plan program based around computers is that it can introduce computers into every classroom setting. Many students never work with computers or see the validity of them until they take a computer class or until younger students become much older. Teaching from a computer will show your students that there is a place for them in every classroom, despite the subject at hand. This enriches the educational experience because students may learn something that they didn't know before, and that is that computers can be an important asset in every educational environment. Get help writing your computer lesson plan. Writing a computer lesson plan is very easy for some teachers, but a lot of teachers find it very difficult. The most passionate teachers will find that writing lessons for their computer classes is very difficult. The reason for this is that a passion for computer doesn't always translate into the ability to organize a cohesive educational lecture or class. Teachers that have difficulty putting their passion into a computer lesson plan often need some tools to help them put it all down on paper or even a computer. This may take some practice, but every teacher can learn how to write great lessons that will take your passion and make it the passion of your students, as well. There are many tools that you can use as a computer teacher to enrich your lessons writing process. First, you can use a planner or planning book. These are usually a great way to write down a rough idea of what you plan to teach from day to day, but they are not always enough. If you are organized, you can write down the objective of all of the lessons and what you plan to tie into the lesson in the way of worksheets, crafts, textbook assignments, research papers, etc. Many teachers try this approach and have a lot of success, while others find that they cannot form organized lessons in the planners and similar tools. Organization is key when using this type of tool, because you want your lessons to flow from one day to the next. If you have found that writing a computer lesson plan using all of the traditional tools doesn't work well for you, or you just want a break from writing your own lessons, you might want to look into some of the spectacular software that is currently available to teachers. Much of the computer software that is on the market has fully prepared lessons for teachers to use with their students. The lessons are written by teachers for teachers, so there is no need to worry about content or how complete the lessons may or may not be. Thanks for watching. Smash that subscribe button and click the notification bell.